Hare Krishna. Hello, and I'd like to welcome everybody and anybody who is listening to this. I appreciate 100% your audience. I would like to offer illumination on one of the best books, if not the best book in the world. And that book is called the Bhagavad-Gita As It Is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Now, this book is considered to be the Bible of all types of knowledge in relationship to yoga. Anything that we want to know about the art of yoga comes from this book, is in this book. And specifically, the main yoga that is recommended by this book is called Bhakti Yoga. Now, Bhagavad Gita starts off in a very interesting manner because it was a time in history when there's a great, huge battle called the Battle of Kurukshetra. You can look it up. You can Google it. And in this battle, there was an outstanding personality by the name of Arjuna. Outstanding warrior, enormously skilled on all types of fighting abilities with weapons, etc. And he had to go through a big test. His test was that for religious reasons, for spiritual purposes, he had to engage in battle, but this was not easy because on the other side, his opponents were his family members. Now, there was a long history as sort of how it came to that. Just to basically go to the gist of it, he was perplexed. He couldn't fight. And he sort of like gave up to the point that he didn't want to fight. And so Krishna, who is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita, at that time, he assumed the role of master. So Arjuna assumed the role of a student, and Krishna assumed the role of master. And basically, that's how the Bhagavad Gita is outlined, with Krishna being the supreme master, or the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita, or of the knowledge that's in the Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna being the student. And all throughout, from all chapters, basically at least from chapter 2 on, but throughout the whole book overall, it's instructions from Krishna given to Arjuna on the basis of the illumination of the soul, of what is the definition of karma, how the soul transmigrates from one body to another according to our karma, how one can become liberated from this cycle of birth and death, and where can we go, and what attitudes and what activities can we perform that ultimately will not bring us another body, another material body. So these are sort of like the basics understandings of Bhagavad Gita as it is, the teachings. And in the second chapter and third chapter is very basic delineation, how by nature the soul, when it becomes fully enlightened and full of knowledge, it becomes free of all the miseries in this world, because one is in knowledge, one is enlightened. It's sort of like, it's not to say that this world doesn't produce miseries. Invariably, there are miseries in this world, and also there are positive things. At the same time, what the Bhagavad Gita teaches is to rise above the happinesses and distresses. There's one verse in the second chapter, and it goes, Matras parsas tu kuntaya sitoshna sukha dukada Agaman pininu nityas tams titikshashva bharata. And in that verse it says, in the non-permanent of appearance of happiness and distress, and the disappearance, a due course of time, are like the appearance and disappearance on winter and the summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, and one must learn how to tolerate them without being disturbed. So what that means is, by nature, the soul, who we are, is by nature full of illumination, full of happiness, full of knowledge. And disconnecting from that understanding produces misery. Even the so-called, quote unquote, we can say the happiness that's out there, whatever happiness one seeks, whether through whatever, we don't want to just mention, it's sort of like illusory in the sense that it's not going to last forever. It comes and goes. The reason why is because karma doesn't last forever. Anything that's material, it comes and it goes. At the same time, the transcendental knowledge that's illuminated, that Krishna was speaking to Arjuna, it remains forever. It never leaves. So this book, this outstanding book, the Bhagavad Gita, especially the Bhagavad Gita As It Is, that's the version that is recommended to read or to get. One can get it on Kindle, on Amazon. And the book is called the Bhagavad Gita As It Is, and the author of the book is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. That particular book is considered to be, at least bare minimum, the most respected, the most authoritative, and the most popular, at least for the past 50 years, all over the world. And it's and I believe, I mean, this was a consensus. I believe like 10 years or 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago, there was 500. I mean, there was so many. I believe there was like so many copies distributed. Either way, that's the most recommended and the most popular one to get. Okay, and the book is called Bhagavad Gita As It Is. It's important to get that one where it says As It Is. There's many different versions of the Bhagavad Gita, but the one that we want is called Bhagavad Gita As It Is. It's important that word As It is there. Otherwise, if you just get any book or any Bhagavad Gita and it doesn't say As It Is, that's not the one that we're recommending here. Okay, it has to say As It Is, and the author is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And once you get that book and you start reading it from the introduction all the way to chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, I mean, just little by little, even one page a day, you'll find so much illumination, so much happiness, so much joy in your life. It's beyond any words that I can say. It has to be experienced. Then we can find newer and newer illuminations in our life. So Basically, at the end of the book, Krishna recommends, and it's a very famous verse, just surrender. Just surrender to the process of bhakti yoga. That verse goes, Sarva dharman paritagya mamekam sharanam vraja. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender. And masuchaha, do not worry, do not fear. So by these instructions of Krishna is opening the illumination towards everyone in the world. So we can conclude here, we're going to stop here shortly, that please, 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 please get this book. When we get a chance, get a book. We can order on Kindle, we can order hard copy. It's Bhagavad-Gita As It Is by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And you can also get that book on a website, Krishna.com. That's Krishna, Krishn as in Nancy, A, Krishna.com. Okay? So, thank you very much. And I'm completely grateful for everyone who is listening. And until the next time, we can meet again. Any comments or questions, I'll be happy to answer. You can just place your comments or questions below, and I will answer you. Okay? Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.